Well, thank you. It's a pleasure being here, and I want to thank David for allowing me to fill in for Rita, who apologized deeply for not being able to be here. As you said here, and you're going through all these topics and discussing over the last day and the rest of it, of today, I think you're going to realize that these are very, very big issues, very huge global issues that no one single entity on its own can pretend to solve. Whether it's a government or a company or a non-government organization, there is going to be a need for a lot of partnerships. And this is really what this topic is going to be about. Obviously, I'm going to tackle it from the angle of Monsanto, from what I know, from what we know, and what we do, just to share a few examples of the kind of partnerships that we engage in various parts of the world, and give you a sense a little bit of the successes we're having in some of these areas. So before I go in there, I just want to step one step behind a little bit, just to give you a sense of where we're going. I think agriculture clearly, and you heard, just this morning from Mark, sits at the heart of all these challenges we're talking about, at least most of them. David mentioned yesterday that a couple of the greenhouse gases are actually rising because of agriculture. Mark talked about the rising population, global food security, and the impact that has on the natural resources, obviously. And so you can imagine that on the face of it, agriculture actually can be a major problem for can exacerbate all of these issues in a much bigger way than it is today. But on the flip side of it, agriculture can also have the solution and has a big potential to be part of the solution, at least a big part of the solution to all these issues. And the key word, so it's really just how we do it, whether we do it right or not. And the key word to doing it right is sustainability. So what is sustainability? You think, probably if you ask 10 people, they'll give you, 10 different definitions. But at Monsanto, we really define it very simply. And it's just represented in this logo here. It's producing more with fewer resources, with less, conserving those resources, and improving the lives of farmers, and by extension, their families and the communities they live in. We came up with this framework back in 2008 when we made our commitment to sustainability for the first time. And it's not just a logo and a theme. We also put very specific goals around it. Goals that we can track and measure over time. On the producing side, we committed at the time that by 2030, we would be able to double yield in our core crops compared to what it was in 2000. So the baseline here is 2000. By 2030, we will double yield. What it means basically is we're going to help farmers with our technologies, our investment, our know-how to actually double yield on their farms in those core crops. On the conserving side, we also committed that by 2030, we will reduce the amount of input as per unit of output by 1/3. And input here means land, energy, and water. And the third part of it is pricing our seed in a way such that the farmers will get more value than they would get otherwise. And also clearly committed to delivering our technologies in such a way that 5 million more subsistence farmers can get access to them and benefit from them. And what I mean by subsistence farmers, those who live under $2 a day. So that's our commitment. When we announced these, we also realized that we're not going to be able to do it on our own. it's gonna demand a lot of effort from us, from various organizations to partner with us. We have to find those partners to work with them so that we can achieve these goals. And go deeper into our journey of sustainability as a whole, not just those goals by themselves. So these are just 4 of the major partnerships we have, which we're proud of having actually been, we're founding members of these organizations, of these partnerships, which are there to define and measure sustainability. Sustainability Consortium, it's basically a partnership between over 100 organizations with the goal of sharing the sustainability data up and down the value chain of a product. And they came up with what is called a sustainability measurement and reporting system that's used for that kind of sharing. World Economic Forum, obviously this is one of the most influential gathering for leaders in government leaders and businesses. World Economic Forum's new vision for agriculture is put together also, it has 25 plus memberships in it at the CEO level, and it's very focused on sustainability in agriculture. Global Harvest Initiative, this is a partnership between agribusinesses and NGOs, and the focus here is very specifically on sustainability of food supply. And what they also helping decision makers, policy makers, in terms of anticipating the gaps between the supply and demand and helping them figure out ways to actually bridge those gaps. And then we have the field to market, which has over 40 memberships in it across the entire value chain of the agri-food. And the focus here also is sustainability around row crops, large area row crops. Just a little bit of a view of all these companies involved and organizations involved in the field to market. You can see there is representations from farmer organizations, from the food industry, from agribusiness, from non-governmental organizations, environmental NGOs specifically. And they are as diverse as anything else, but one single theme brings them together is that their passion and commitment to sustainability. Another partnership we have out in Brazil around biodiversity is with Conservation International. This is a partnership we've started back in 2008 with the aim of preserving biodiversity and fighting the illegal deforestation, specifically in the Cerrado and Atlantic forest regions. Throughout this partnership, we've invested together with Conservation International over $13 million so far, and really a lot of effort trying to reach out to thousands of farmers, to other partners who can help educate and also incentivize all the stakeholders around to really make sure that we preserve the reserves that are out there and then the protected areas, and make sure that we reduce deforestation. And I'm sad to hear yesterday Dave talk about deforestation going up in Brazil last year because of the prices and all that. But this is just one way of making a difference, and we've been able to conserve over 8,000 hectares as part of this partnership over the last 5 years. Farmers produce their food, our food. They feed us, and unfortunately, for the most part, they are the ones who go hungry at night, especially the smallholder farmers in rural areas. And that is true here in this country. That is true in almost every single developing country. That is also true in some developed countries, including the United States. It's estimated that 15% of the rural people in the United States are actually hungry. It's very sad to hear. And so this is a partnership that we have with the ADM, the Buffett Foundation, and Feed in America to really fight the rural hunger in rural America. And the way it works is that you got large farmers who actually donate the proceeds of 1 or 2 acres. That donation is taken to the elevator, to the grain elevator, which in turn gives money, sends money to Feed in America. Feed in America turns in and actually distributes to food banks within the same community, within the community of the farmers' community. And so that the money goes back to the same community. And Monsanto comes in and matches the donation to double the impact. Most of you would know that we're not active in rice and wheat. Our core crops are corn, soybean, cotton, canola. But we do understand that rice and wheat are major staple crops that are important for food security, important for millions of people in Asia, in Africa. And so we came up with this internship program, scholarship program back in 2009. It's basically as a commitment to sustainability, but also as an honor to 2 of the scientists who made a big effort in increasing yield in these 2 crops, rice and wheat. That is Dr. Henry Bitchell and Dr. Norman Borlaug. You can see that Dr. Borlaug in the middle, between our chairman and CEO, Hugh Grant, on the left side, and the vice president of integrated farming systems at Monsanto on the right side, Ted Crosby. So this scholarship we have pledged so far over the last 5 years, $13 million. 65 scholars have benefited from it, and really the goal here is to develop the know-how, the technology, the leadership in those scholars to take this forward and to help, bring improved varieties to the market. And out of those 64 actually come from 25 different countries, and out of those 64, 16 right here from India. Water efficient maize for Africa, or the WEMA project. This is a project we started also back in 2008. A project that aims really at fighting hunger and improving the lives of smallholder farmers in sub-Saharan Africa. We target 5 countries in there. The partnership here is Monsanto provides the technology, the drought technology, the genetics that helps with the training and the know-how. You have the funding organizations, the Gates Foundation, the Buffett Foundation, as well as the USAID. And we have other partners like CIMSANS and a number of national research, agricultural research systems within those countries. And I'm very happy to say that this year, for the very first time, we have the very first WEMA drought-tolerant hybrids developed as part of this partnership that are being distributed to the Kenyan farmers for planting this season. So we look forward to see the impact there. The Grow America platform, this is a platform that's initiated through a partnership between African Union, I think NEPAD, and the can't remember the third one, but anyway, It's really, the goal here is to seek to accelerate investment and transformational changes in Africa. It does that through 3 growth platforms you see there: increasing private sector investments in agriculture in those countries. It's targeting about 9 countries in sub-Saharan Africa. The second one is enabling development of partnerships to attract investments. And the third one is really around sharing the knowledge and practices, best practices around all those projects and initiatives that have already succeeded so that they don't reinvent the wheels. What is our role here? As you can see, this is just one example in the what is called the Southern Agricultural Growth Corridor of Tanzania. This is basically a corridor or a big chunk of land that on the south part of Tanzania. Tanzania earmarked for really development, investment, for looking for partnerships to develop it in a much bigger way. And so what we do here, as you can imagine, access to seed or genetics is not enough in many cases for farmers. It's also access to financial services. It's also access to market. And all those things are important. And in this case, we're really active developing partnerships across the entire value chain. Through the WEMA projects, for example, we've committed to delivering 3 to 5 hybrids to these farmers in the next 4 to 5 years. We partnered with the Earth Institute out at Columbia University to develop tools and training necessary to help the farmers actually improve the soil the health of their soil. And we're working with Opportunity International, which is a nonprofit microfinance organization, to actually help farmers have access to affordable financial services. And we have a number of partners also working with them to engage the farmers in training, as well as dealers in terms of training and the ability to access quality inputs. And at the very end of it, at the downstream part of the value chain, we're also looking at with partners at opportunities to create market, to engage with organizations like companies interested in added value type of products like poultry and all that, so that we create those opportunities for farmers to benefit more. So at the end of it, the goal here is to double yield and double the income for about a quarter of those smallholder farmers in this corridor. So at the end of it, I just want to say that through our commitment to sustainability, and those are just examples of modest things that we're doing. There is a lot more to do, obviously. There's a lot more we can do together. There's a lot more we can share. We've also adopted what is called the Global Reporting Initiative, which allows you to track your progress and progress into the journey of sustainability. Not just you, but also allows others to track your progress in a very transparent way. And we hope that we can do more and that we will have more partners willing to partner with us in various areas of the world to fight a lot of these challenges. And thank you.